Yeah, I'm feeling this old school shit. DJ FaZe, what up? What's good, homie? It's your boy Face, CEO of Face Off Entertainment, representing Fort Dox. I'ma go in on this one. Listen. This one's for DJ FaZe, the shit that he play blaze, cut sharper than the EK blade. Rappers are eating, time to get the DJs paid. FaZe, that's the fan, been rapping this Bronx shit like Big Pun. Carry big guns for the conflict, wedged under the armpit, eyeing the scope. Index finger on the trigger, die if you close. I don't promote violence, but approach, you know the toast firing, so I suggest you don't. Who you know flow better, hot enough to do the whole winter, no sweater. You could bet you won't find a better flow ever. Old school with a new school twist. You fools got 2 views on your YouTube hit. As I mic check, 1, 2 spit, and DJ FaZe cuts and chops it up like a kung fu flick. I'm on the track doing somersaults, and I'm sorry if I come across arrogant, but I swear I'm the boss. Top rank, salute the general of lyrical warfare, producing chemicals to kill MCs as I boost to pinnacles you can't reach. You looking like food, you edible. It's the capital F-A Ice on Murdoch Ave and Edenwald. That's the corner we play dice. Head cracks, 4, 5, 6 and trips. Then it's straight to the flight club to get some kicks. These niggas looking like how we spit so sick for so many years and still look fit as shit. Nigga, I bench press lyrics, do dips on bars, and push up on chicks when my dick gets hard. Face is my alias from way back in the days. Hey yo, DJ FaZe, keep playing this. Yeah, I'm feeling this old school shit. DJ FaZe, what up? What's good, homie? It's your boy Face, CEO of Face Off Entertainment, representing Fort Dox. I'ma go in on this one. Listen. This one's for DJ FaZe, the shit that he play blaze, cut sharper than the EK blade. Rappers are eating, time to get the DJs paid. FaZe, that's the fan, been rapping this Bronx shit like Big Pun. Carry big guns for the conflict, wedged under the armpit, eyeing the scope. Index finger on the trigger, die if you close. I don't promote violence, but approach, you know the toast firing, so I suggest you don't. Who you know flow better, hot enough to do the whole winter, no sweater. You could bet you won't find a better flow ever. Old school with a new school twist. You fools got 2 views on your YouTube hit. As I mic check, 1, 2 spit, and DJ FaZe cuts and chops it up like a kung fu flick. I'm on the track doing somersaults, and I'm sorry if I come across arrogant, but I swear I'm the boss. Top rank, salute the general of lyrical warfare, producing chemicals to kill MCs as I boost to pinnacles you can't reach. You looking like food, you edible. It's the capital F-A Ice on Murdoch Ave and Edenwald. That's the corner we play dice. Head cracks, 4, 5, 6 and trips. Then it's straight to the flight club to get some kicks. These niggas looking like how we spit so sick for so many years and still look fit as shit. Nigga, I bench press lyrics, do dips on bars, and push up on chicks when my dick gets hard. Face is my alias from way back in the days. Hey yo, DJ FaZe, keep playing this.
Peace, peace, peace. What's good? What's good? Grand afternoon, kings and queens, grand afternoon. What's really going on? What's going on with you? Hey, listen, I wasn't going to come back on for a minute because, there's a couple of things that I need to explain about why I don't be coming back on, but I'm coming back on because I have to explain a couple of things also. Hope everybody had a good week. Hope everybody is safe and secure. Everybody had that fake July 4th thing. I don't celebrate no 250 years or none of that. So, I hope everybody got through that safe and everything. I did a couple of things. But listen. We're at attack. We're on attack mode right now. Everybody's coming for us. Everybody's coming for our culture. So we got to stay in war mode at all times. And that's my word. We got to stay in war mode at all times. All right. What's going on? Let me listen. So let me, before I go into a couple of things, Riri, definitely nothing but love, nothing but love. Um, okay, slap jaws in here, first class citizen. Salute, what's up? I want to definitely give a shout out to Dwan B. He shouted me out today on his podcast. China Black, salute. Definitely in the building. JG, salute. AJG. I'm gonna definitely hit Dwan B up and see what I could do about getting him up on there on scoreboards. We're gonna try to get that going. Um, also, uh, I just wanted to just explain what's happening on August 1st. August 1st. So we definitely had to switch the dates from July 25th to August 1st. Let me see if I have that flyer. I need to put that flyer up and get that popping. Also, I'm going to be somewhere Saturday, this coming Saturday, something really, really big. Okay, so there it is. Yes, there it is. Okay, so what's happening is we definitely had to change the date for the tributes of the originators of hip hop. Now, listen, we're gonna have a lot of surprise guests, a lot of surprise performers. So you're gonna be very, very happy if you come, if you attend. This is gonna be like I've been promoting. It's gonna be the greatest hip hop event on earth. On earth. And I don't say that unwilling. I say that because it really is. We're definitely we give the whole thing is about the tribute to Disco King Mario. We're giving tribute to the Black Spades, giving tribute to Bronxdale Houses. We're giving tribute to James Brown, George Clinton, the Ohio Players. This is going to be a very, very special year. This is going to be very, very, very special. So we want everybody that can come through, because you're going to enjoy. You're going to enjoy. This is going to be something very, very big. So the flyer, and I would like you to share the flyer, share, and please start sharing these videos. I know Dwan B is probably still on right now because he was doing something that was very, very interesting. So if the guys that are still over there, the queens, kings and queens that are still over there, I totally understand. You're gonna have to see it later on broadcast. But I see a couple of us is here already, so I might as well go ahead and go into it right now already. So the title of this is "Stop Trying to Jack Our Culture Called Hip Hop," and it's not just the culture called hip hop. Let me make that straight. Let's get that straight. Okay. What I've seen is last week I was on Scoreboard Keepers, and we were going into some things and of course a lot of the trolls were there. But one of the things that I was concerned about was that believing that when we checkmate these people that come in, these visitors, these trolls as I call them, these how can I say, these hijackers of different cultures, when we give them information to use, instead of them learning and accepting that, they're doing the same thing that they did when we first introduced it to them. And when I say introduced it to them, meaning our culture, uh, everything. If you take a look at how we dress, how we talk, what we dance to, the music we listen to, you know, how we DJ, how we MC, how we dance. If you put all that together and see that we're really are just, I guess, a continuation of our ancestors in a sense, because, let's take James Brown, for instance. Now, James Brown with the funk is something that we, I'm gonna for this episode, I'm gonna definitely give the three names: Friedman, FBA, and Brown. That's what I'll say. Because what we've done as a people is we have connected with our ancestors, and that's what we have done. So the people that are trying to hijack our culture, the people that are trying to take away hip hop, or the people that are trying to take away everything that we do, they don't have the connection to our ancestors, so they're not able to copy what we're doing. Um, they feel like for instance, like I was saying about James Brown. So one of the trolls, I'm gonna call it, one of the liars, one of the I don't even know what to call them, put up something to said that James Brown always had some Afro-Cuban rhythms inside of him, and that's what he first demonstrated. And all of that is to basically put, uh, how can I put a cover over the fact that James Brown was totally soul. He was totally the godfather of funk. He was totally um, a part of our ancestors as far as music, as far as style, as far as everything is concerned, that funk. So he created a tempo and a groove that was started on the one. That's where you hear the on the one, where that comes from James Brown. So that rhythm, that style, that tempo that he I have to say he created can't be duplicated from someone that doesn't have the connection to our ancestors in them. So, for all the other cultures and all the other people that don't have that connection, when they try to do it, it just comes off looking ridiculous. It really does. And so it's demonstrated with breakdancing, because dancing is the closest thing that can show the tempo besides playing the music yourself, besides playing the music. So in breakdancing, we have witnessed that the whole problem with what is being called breakdancing now is that it's not breakdancing. It's not breakdancing. It's gymnastics. It's how can I say, it's just these moves that are choreographed, and they're choreographed without the tempo, without the one. And so I was looking at a couple of videos of these dances, or these acrobats, and every last one of them that I saw was basically didn't need the music behind it. Like, you could take away the music for every last one, and you could put any kind of music in there, and there would still be no rhythm. There would be no continuing rhythm. It would just be just flat out, what they call moves. And noticing that made me really understand and think about why this is happening. Why this is happening. So what is happening now is that they're, and when I say they, you guys know exactly who I'm talking about. They're trying their best to duplicate our souls. That's what it's all about. They're trying their best to duplicate our soul. And because we basically leave them in the dust with everything that we're doing, everything that we've done, we basically leave them in the dust because they can't catch up and they can't duplicate. The only thing they can hang on to is basically lies and their false um demonstrations of what they believe they're doing that we do. And that's it. It's like that's basically it. So think about it. We have, and I'm sure this is something that can go with everybody that's listening to this broadcast right now. If I don't care how old you are, if you have a parent that's maybe from 70 up, if you have a parent that's 70 up, the records that they have in their collection are usually, well, for us, are soul records. That's just something that we can't get around. They're soul records. And so we have Diana Ross and the Supremes. We have the Temptations. We have the whole Motown. We have the whole Gordy. We have the Philadelphia Sound. We have the Ohio Players. We have, Dramatics, the Stylistics, the Four Tops. All of those things are in their collections. So if you think about, and I'm going to call it for what it is. If you think about it, the people that are trying to take our collection, our culture, they can't go into their parents' collection and pull out those records. They can't do it. And that the reason why they can't do it is because usually their parents were not connected to that type of soul. And that's just, that's just how we were raised. We were raised that on a Saturday morning, that was time before you went outside, after you watched Soul Train or whatever things that you were going to watch, be it cartoons or karate flicks or whatever. There was such thing as cleaning the house. Okay. And what cleaning the house meant was that if you had siblings, each one would get a room or, the kitchen, the living room, their room, bathroom, and we would clean up the house. Like this is something that is like tradition for us. Like this is something that tradition, and the floors would get cleaned and everything. And so during that process, records are being played. All the records are being played, and we're dancing and cleaning all at the same time. Now this is something that's our tradition. This is like our tradition. And so if you had these records or they're playing, these are something that you grew up to. This is something that you would grow up to. So the people that are trying to take our culture away, our traditions away, they don't have that at all. Like they don't have that. And so when they hear and see how we grew up and what our traditions are, and knowing that they can't have that no matter what they do, no matter if they buy it, if they watch every day, or they come to parties or whatever. If they don't have that inside of them, they won't. Number one is that they will not understand. They will not understand what's going on. And so that's why also when you hear these people talking and you hear what they're saying, and they try their best to go back, and they say about graffiti, and they say about breakdancing, and they say about all of these things, usually, and this is really usually, they won't go beyond 78, 79, and 80. So 78 and 79 was basically when hip hop was basically introduced to the world. With that being said, the Sugar Hill Gang, what God rest her soul, Sylvia, when that was introduced to the world, that was an open door for people to come in. People that had never basically heard rap were able, or heard an MC, were able to connect their self, because all they had to do was buy the record, buy Sugar Hill Gang record, or hear it or record it on the radio. So if they recorded it on the radio, then that meant that they could listen to it. They could listen to it. And for that, you know, they considered rap. They considered it rap. Now, in 79, Soul Train had not put rap on. yet. I have to find out when did Sugar Hill actually go on Soul Train. But I guarantee you it was not in 79. It had to be 80 or something. And did Soul Train, Don Cornelius put rap on there. So they had no other real way to experience this because they weren't coming to the jams. They were not coming, to the places that were throwing these parties or these, these outdoor jams. They were not coming there. So they could not really experience it. So when you hear these people and they say, oh, that they saw something in 75 or 76 or 77, that timeline that they're putting out for everybody to see is the timeline that they can get to know if they do some research. If they do some research, then there's a lot of people can talk about 75 and 76 and so they can talk about that because by that time, especially in the 80s, everybody was going back and getting old tapes or old tapes from jams and stuff like that, or seeing flyers or something. So that's where they can connect with being hip hop. So a lot of them will say, "Oh, they saw this, or they knew this, or they have a flyer that says this, or that they were a part of this." When in reality, each time you listen to them say these things, you could see that they were nowhere to be around. They weren't around, but yet and still they have these pictures of flyers, or the internet shows these flyers or something. And so without the internet, without the internet, a lot of these people couldn't have this information. And that's truth that without the internet they couldn't have this information, so they wouldn't be able to associate with the people that were actually into hip hop. They wouldn't, if the internet wasn't here, they wouldn't have that association to be with hip hop. And so now where we come in at is that we had decided, and when I say we, talking about the originators, we had decided a long time ago, well, not we, one or two people that were in this hip hop thing decided that numbers made more sense than private. And what that means is inviting people into the party or inviting people to the cookout means that you're going to have a mass uh, part of people. You're going to have different ethnicities, and you're going to have a lot of a great number of people. When that happens, just like anything, it becomes watered down, it becomes tainted, it becomes uh grabbable, you know, and that's exactly what happened. That's what happened. So it's diluted, and this is what we end up with having. This is exactly what we end up having. So I wanted to dig deep into exactly what's happening. So think about it. This is something I want you guys to do your homework and think about. If we try to connect Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans and Chinese and Africans and Europeans, if we try to connect them to the things that make hip hop, if we run back to the beginning, there's no connection. And there's absolutely no connection. So we know that our parents were soul, right? And when I say soul, there's a that pillow of things, genres are great. So we have see every genre of music, you can basically trace it back to us. Need it be rock and roll, if it's country, if it's jazz, if it's blues, if it's soul, if it's uh, rap, if it's, even disco. If you trace the roots of these genres, you're going to end up finding out that it's us. And so, if that's the case, then how can we contribute someone else that doesn't have that inside of them? And that's basically it. So, when you look at it and you really examine it, everything that's happening and everything that is based on the creation of hip hop goes back to us. No matter how you slice it, it goes back to us. So each time I personally see someone come in these chats and they're saying that, if it wasn't for Puerto Ricans and that we did it together, and Jamaicans had the sound system and all of these things, we really have to examine what it is that they're talking about. So I did a little bit of examining myself. And one of the things that I thought about was radio. Okay. I thought about radio. And wait a minute. Okay. Radio. So during 1970 and 1971, the landscape of Spanish language broadcasting in New York City expanded notably. The two prominent stations that premiered full time or significant Spanish music and cultural programming during the era was WJIT 1480 AM began transmitting to the heavily premiering a full-time Spanish adult contemporary and tropical music format, becoming the cornerstone for salsa and Latin music in the early 70s. Okay, so let's look at that. Let's look at that. So here you have in the early 70s, you have one Spanish radio station in New York, one. And it was based on tropical music. So tropical music can meant all the Caribbean islands, all the Puerto Rico and Brazil and all the different tropical islands, right? So they dedicated their station full time to adult contemporary and tropical music. Okay, so if your parent is from a tropical island, that's the radio station that was listened to. Okay, that was the radio station that was listened to. So remember back in the 70s, you know, especially, 70, 71, 72, these stations, radio stations, were AM. They were AM. And so that meant if you're in a car or you had a transistor radio, that the service was very, very shaky. Sometimes if you were in a building, you couldn't get it. Sometimes you'd be turning the knob and try to get these stations, but you couldn't get it. So for us, right? For us, I don't think it's there anymore. Ah, man, I think I took it out. But for us, we had WLIB, which was 1600. And let me explain something to you guys about frequencies. That's what I can do. I can explain about frequencies. So 1480 was I think back then it started at 88 or something like that, and then it went up to 1600 or something like that. Because I think BLS ranged at 1600. So 1480, it was transmittable, put it that way. But the catch is that everybody that would have been from these Caribbean or tropical islands would only have that radio station, and that's it. So they weren't watching Soul Train. They weren't waiting for Flip Wilson to come on, or they weren't waiting, for our stations that premiered the soul players on there. And so this is what they relied on. So imagine what the playlist would have been for the tropical people, tropical music station. Guarantee you they didn't play the Jackson 5. I guarantee you they didn't play Barry White, Isaac Hayes, Ohio Players, Dramatics, Earth, Wind and Fire, Kool and the Gang, James Brown, Rufus Thomas. They didn't play those records at all. Like they didn't hear those records at all. They would never go into rotation on these radio stations. They would not go on rotation. So where would they get a chance to hear that? They would have to hear it from one of us. They'd have to hear it, us playing it out of the window. They have to hear it and us going in a car. They would have to hear it then. So for them to say that they were a great part of the creation of hip hop is absolutely absurd because there's no way that they had the basis that we had. They just didn't have it. So I guarantee you, and this is something that I can basically guarantee, that if you ask each one of the people that are trying to hijack our culture, if you ask them who were these guys, what records did these guys play, what was some of the music that they played, they couldn't tell you. They couldn't tell you. If you ask their parents, they couldn't tell you. They couldn't tell you. If you ask them if they had this record in their collection, they would say no. They would say no. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it came from. They don't know. If you ask them what this is, they won't know. They won't have any clue to what it is. And if you said something about this, they definitely would not have a clue to what we're talking about at all. See, and as you could see, and this is something that I have to explain as well. Okay, James Brown released Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud in 1968, right? So this is a time, and this is something for the younger people for them to know. In 1968 was a big revolutionary type of atmosphere for us. And Saying It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud was the anthem of the civil rights movement. Okay. This was the anthem for it. And this was like, how can I say? This was like the way that we could protest against all the civil unjust that was happening at the time. So that what takes me back to exactly what was happening between pink people and us. So as I already explained to you, I explained how when Puerto Ricans came to America, well, right here where we're at, and I'll say it 100 times, they were under the impression that when they got here, they would be accepted by the pink people and would do us dirty. They were going to do us dirty when they got here because they knew that the post that the pink people had already set, they had to continue that to be accepted by them. So when they got here, they were under the impression that they were going to be accepted by them and they had to do what they did to be accepted, which was dog us out, treat us like dirt. And to their surprise, each time they got here, they were rejected. They were rejected. And they kept on, coming and they kept on getting rejected. And when they got rejected, they actually ended up going to where? to the places that they actually put us, the ghettos that they actually put us. So that's why Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud was such a pivotal record for that time. Because at that time, we were basically at war with everybody. We were at war. If the Puerto Ricans came to be against us, the pink people already against us, Chinese people, they were just, you know, they were mad at all Americans. Uh, uh, and so now we're at war, but instead of rejecting them like the pink people did, we basically taught them. We taught them how to talk. We taught them how to dress, what to know, what to do, where to go. And so now that generation has a little bit of more because the next generation that came, they're being taught from their generation before them and us. So they start assimilating to the style and everything that we're doing at the time. So now this is the problem. This is the problem. So now, after that happened, they are so involved with what we're doing and what they're learning that they don't stop to think and say, well, wait a minute. We're being rejected by the pink people and we're being accepted by the same people that we came here to dog out. So that's why in the early days, if you're you know I guess 45 or older, you would know that in the 70s and even the 80s that the Spanish speaking parent would always advise their kids to stay away from El Chocolates, the Morenos. They always told them to stay away from us because they still were not accustomed to knowing that they're not going to get along. They're not going to be accepted by the pink people. So the only people that has accepted them is us. And that happened so long, and it's still basically happening. You have to wonder, well, why? Why do they want our culture so bad? Why do they want to have so much to do with us? Why do they continue to put themselves in where we are? Why do everything we do, every video we do, every movie we do, everything we do, they have to connect themselves to it? And you got to ask yourself why. Why do they do that? And the reason, my people, is that they need to connect their self with our ancestors' soul. They need to connect their self with what we have inside of us that they cannot get. They cannot be a part of. They cannot emulate. They cannot copy. They cannot, break the code. And so that's where it comes from. And that's why they're trying their best to hijack our cultures, everything that we do. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go to a couple of the comments. Um, Riri says we had WLIB, WWRL, WBLS, Inner City Broadcasting Company. Yes, yes, WWRL was 1600. Yes, yes, definitely, Riri. That was definite. And Isaiah says facts, bro, facts. Right, exactly. Um, Hold on. Clean the house at the same time the stereo will be turned on. Exactly. And so now you guys remember that. Remember that that's what we grew up to. We grew up to Saturday morning. It was a regimen. It was like something that we had to do. We had to, we would get our little breakfast. We would watch our cartoons, the karate flicks, Soul Train, and clean up. That would be the whole thing. You couldn't go outside until the house was clean. Now, if you didn't go through this procedure, if you didn't go through this, then something was wrong with your household. And that's just a fact. Something was definitely wrong with your household if you can't remember those times. Okay. Fly Tie, what up, fam? Come to Scoreboard, keep his face, be there all the time. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Um, Hey, Renee LaRock, what's going on? Peace. Fly Tie Blizzy, what's good with you? What's good with you? Um, I see a couple of our people are not here, so they must be still over there with Dwan B. Peace, DJ Faze in chat. We still deep clean the house on Saturday morning. Right, right, Renee LaRock. So if you imagine that now that's our culture, right? Am I saying something wrong? But that's our culture. That's our culture. That's something that we did every Saturday. And this is something that we knew to do. We knew to turn on, even if we turned on the radio. But most of us didn't turn on the radio because we'd have that stack of records, and each one of us would have their favorite record, and they would put it on the record player, and they would play it, and that's how our Saturdays went. So the same people that are coming at us and saying that they were 50-50 and they whatever, ask them what was on their record players back then when the creation of hip hop was started. Ask them what was on their playlist. What was their thing? And I bet you 100 times to a dollar, they'll say records that they see now on the internet. They'll say records that we've been talking about for all of these years and stuff, but in reality, would be a lie. So that's what it's all about, people. And I just wanted you guys to understand that. Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay, Paul is here. Peace, Paul. PRs in New York City thought white people accepted them because of the 1950s Mambo fad. They didn't know the mafia engineered the fad because Havana was going to be the next Las Vegas till Castro stopped in 59. Wow, right. Right. Wow, and I'm glad that because I was going to actually do something on that. I was definitely going to do something about the mambo phase and like Ricky Ricardo and stuff. I was going to do something on that. So, Paul, salute to you, definitely. Um, so let's examine that a part of it as well. So remember, New York City was basically um, divided in these uh, territories, as you can say. Um, Harlem. Oh my goodness, Harlem! The Bumpy Johnson stories and all the different stories that you hear about Harlem are true, and how the mafia intended to take over some territories, but found out that they just wasn't going to do that. And so now they were going to have uh Havana was going to be the next Las Vegas, until like he said, like Paul said, until Castro stopped that. So that in reality stopped a lot of things too as well, Paul. That stopped a lot of things that the Spanish thought that they were going to be in control of, but actually didn't have any control on that. So that's a good subject that we need to definitely investigate. Okay. Yeah, everybody's saying definitely uh, peace up to you, Paul. And as well, Paul. Now, this is something I wanted to ask you. So, is there any truth to what I'm saying when I say that when Puerto Ricans came in the 70s, I'm not talking about the 50s or the 60s. I'm talking about, well, maybe the late 60s and early 70s. When they came, did they not believe that they were going to be accepted, and found out when they got here that they were not accepted by who they thought that they were going to be accepted by? Is this something true, Paul? Or am I is I'm going in the wrong direction with that? Is this I'm asking you for your point of view on that. So, Paul, if you can comment that and comment the answer, I would love for you to do that. Okay. Because like I said, you know, we trace radio, you know, we trace the history of radio, and we trace the music that was played on the radio. And when we do that, our culture is based on soul music. Like, it's based on soul music. And so soul music is what catapulted us to create hip hop. It was That's just, there's no other way to slice it. What we did in hip hop was a combination, and was so crazy, and this is something that you guys have to read in the book, but what is so crazy is what we did, no one in the world had ever done before. So yes, James Brown, yes, Rufus Thomas, yes, Picnic Markham, all of them, the Jubileers, all of them did something. But what we did as kids had never been done ever before. Okay. Yes, thank you, Paul. Before they infiltrated hip hop, they were infiltrating Tupperware parties. Exactly. Thank you, Paul. Paul brought he's real. He's real. And yes, that's what it is. And even look, China Black says that's a fact, but they got stuck living around us. Yes, they got stuck. So that's 100% true, China Black. They got stuck living around us. That's why when you look at Wild Style and Beat Street, and you look at those condemned buildings, and you look at all the buildings that were they had no water, no electricity, no anything, you see them living there. They were living in abandoned buildings, and this is a fact. They had families that lived in abandoned buildings. Okay, so the 70s was very, very bad for them. It was very, very bad. And so the only connection they had with livelihood was with us. That's the only connection that they had. So imagine not being able to have their own culture, and the only thing that they have is what basically we share with them. Okay. Phase, our sound system, meaning FBAs, was radio stations and our parents' record collection. So we didn't know about no Jamaican sound system, of course. And I had did that before. I had actually showed some of our sound systems that happened in the 60s and the 70s, and I explain it thoroughly in my book about what those sound systems were, and where did the equipment came from and what it was. Okay, so I definitely did that. Isaiah, what's up? Peace. That's how hip hop was created from our perspective. Exactly. So no one else has a perspective that can match what we did. And so that's a pure fact. Okay. So once again, I think I don't know. I have to promote the switch the August 1st. I have to switch that date out so that everybody knows that we changed from July uh 25th to August 1st. So that's it. So people, I need you guys. Now this is where I'm asking you guys to do. I need you guys to share the video, share the date, share the event, and if you guys can make it, can come, I really appreciate if you guys come, and you will be actually a part of true hip hop. You'll see the difference between the watered down hip hop and what we created hip hop for. That's what's gonna, I promise that's what's gonna happen at this event. And like I said, we already have a crew of people that are gonna definitely turn it out, and we have some surprise guests. So on that note, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'm gonna come back with a part 2, because I went from the culture and the radio to, I'm going to go through the actual records that promoted and were the catalyst for hip hop. So thanks again. Thanks again. Thanks again. Peace.
Colonel Jessup, did you order the code red?
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled to. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
What's good, homie? It's your boy Face, CEO of Face Off Entertainment, representing Fort Knox. I'ma go in on this one. Listen, this one's for DJ Faze, the shit that he played blaze, cut sharper than the EK blade. Rappers are eating time to get the DJs paid. Faze, that's the fan, been rapping this Bronx shit like Big Pun. Carry big guns for the conflict, wedged under the armpit, eyeing the scope. Index finger on the trigger, die if you close. I don't promote violence, but approach, you know the toast firing, so I suggest you don't. Who you know flow better, hot enough to do the whole winter, no sweater. You could bet you won't find a better flow ever. Old school with a new school twist. You fools got 2 views on your YouTube hit. As I mic check, 1, 2 spit, and DJ Faze cuts and chops it up like a kung fu flick. I'm on the track doing somersaults, and I'm sorry if I come across arrogant, but I swear I'm the boss. Top rank, salute the general of lyrical warfare, producing chemicals to kill MCs as I boost to pinnacles. You can't reach, you looking like food, you edible. It's the capital F-A Ice on Murdoch Ave and Edenwald. That's the corner we play dice. Head cracks, 4, 5, 6 and trips. Then it's straight to the flight club to get some kicks. These niggas looking like how we spit so sick for so many years and still look fit as shit. Nigga, I bench press lyrics, do dips on bars, and push up on chicks when my dick gets hard. Face is my alias from way back in the days. Hey yo, DJ Faze, keep playing this. Yeah, I'm feeling this old school shit. DJ Faze, what up? What's good, homie? It's your boy Face, CEO of Face Off Entertainment, representing Fort Knox. I'ma go in on this one. Listen, this one's for DJ Faze, the shit that he played blaze, cut sharper than the EK blade. Rappers are eating time to get the DJs paid. Faze, that's the fan, been rapping this Bronx shit like Big Pun. Carry big guns for the conflict, wedged under the armpit, eyeing the scope. Index finger on the trigger, die if you close. I don't promote violence, but approach, you know the toast firing, so I suggest you don't. Who you know flow better, hot enough to do the whole winter, no sweater. You could bet you won't find a better flow ever. Old school with a new school twist. You fools got 2 views on your YouTube hit. As I mic check, 1, 2 spit, and DJ Faze cuts and chops it up like a kung fu flick. I'm on the track doing somersaults, and I'm sorry if I come across arrogant, but I swear I'm the boss. Top rank, salute the general of lyrical warfare, producing chemicals to kill MCs as I boost to pinnacles. You can't reach, you looking like food, you edible. It's the capital F-A Ice on Murdoch Ave and Edenwald. That's the corner we play dice. Head cracks, 4, 5, 6 and trips. Then it's straight to the flight club to get some kicks. These niggas looking like how we spit so sick for so many years and still look fit as shit. Nigga, I bench press lyrics, do dips on bars, and push up on chicks when my dick gets hard. Face is my alias from way back in the days. Hey yo, DJ Faze, keep playing this.